uniquely privileged to bear during so much of my life and duty.
I'm 75 now, and
the announcement sent shockwaves through the world, reverberating across social, political, and cultural spheres with a force few had anticipated. King Charles, in a rare and unprecedented move, publicly revealed his intention to divorce Queen Camilla. The decision, unveiled with a formality that underscored its gravity, shattered the image of stability the royal couple had cultivated and set off an intense ripple of speculation and debate among the public, the media, and the global aristocracy. This revelation not only upended the personal dynamics within the royal family, but also introduced significant implications for the monarchy itself, stirring questions about its relevance and adaptability in the modern era. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The union between Charles and Camilla had been a cornerstone of his reign, marked by their shared history, resilience against public scrutiny, and a narrative that symbolized love's triumph over adversity. Their relationship, rooted in decades of mutual affection and enduring trials, had served as a testament to the complexities of modern royal life. Camilla, once a controversial figure, gradually won public favor as she assumed her role with poise and a sense of duty. Her journey from public vilification to acceptance paralleled Charles's own trajectory as he ascended to the throne following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Together, they had seemingly established a narrative of redemption and steadfast partnership. The decision to part ways, therefore, appeared to many as a seismic shift. It disrupted the carefully curated perception of unity and raised profound questions about the monarchy's private and public realities. For a centuries-old institution that thrives on continuity and the image of stability, the announcement felt like an unprecedented admission of vulnerability. Public sentiment, a cornerstone of the monarchy's relevance, wavered as people grappled with the reasons behind such a monumental decision. One of the immediate and significant implications lay in the perception of King Charles as a leader. The monarchy, long intertwined with ideals of tradition and moral authority, often demands its figures adhere to an almost mythical standard of personal conduct. Divorce, even in an era of increasing acceptance, remains a subject of contention when it involves the sovereign. The announcement inevitably invited scrutiny of Charles's capacity to balance his private life with the responsibilities of the crown. It ignited debates about whether his personal struggles could overshadow his ability to lead, or conversely, whether this act of personal agency reflected a modernizing monarchy more attuned to human complexities. Camilla's position within the royal family was also thrown into uncertainty. As queen consort, she had carved out a distinct role, navigating the demanding expectations of her position while maintaining a relatively low profile. Her work in promoting charitable causes, particularly those focusing on domestic violence and literacy, had earned her respect among various segments of the population. The divorce, however, risked undermining her legacy, casting a shadow over her contributions and subjecting her to renewed scrutiny. Critics and supporters alike questioned what her departure would mean for the monarchy's future and whether she would retain a presence in public life or fade into relative obscurity. The ripple effects extended far beyond the immediate family, touching every aspect of royal protocol and public perception. The British royal family has long functioned as a symbolic anchor for the United Kingdom, representing continuity amidst change. This separation posed questions about how the institution could reconcile its image of timelessness with the undeniable humanity of its members. Would the public's perception of the monarchy's sanctity erode further, or would this moment of transparency foster a deeper connection with a population increasingly disillusioned with old institutions? The global ramifications of the divorce announcement were equally significant. As head of the Commonwealth, King Charles's personal life inevitably intersected with his role as a unifying figure for nations with diverse cultures, histories, and political systems. Many observers speculated about how this development might influence the relationship between the Crown and its Commonwealth members. Would this perceived lapse in personal stability weaken the symbolic bonds that tie these nations together? Or might it serve as an opportunity for the monarchy to redefine its relevance in a rapidly changing world? Media reactions predictably ranged from sympathetic to sensationalist, with headlines dissecting every possible angle of the story. Tabloids speculated on the potential reasons for the divorce, often veering into salacious territory, while more restrained outlets focused on the broader implications for the monarchy. Social media platforms became arenas for fervent debate, with hashtags trending as the public weighed in on everything from Charles and Camilla's compatibility to the institution's resilience. Amidst the cacophony, a recurring theme emerged: the desire for transparency from an institution often cloaked in secrecy. The divorce announcement, while shocking, was also seen as an opportunity for the royal family to engage with the public in a more open and honest manner. The implications for royal succession were another point of intense discussion. While the divorce did not directly impact the line of succession, it did cast a spotlight on the pressures faced by those next in line. Prince William, already carrying the weight of public expectation as the future king, found himself thrust into a role that demanded both support for his father and a steadying presence for the institution. His own family dynamics, scrutinized in light of this upheaval, became a focal point for those pondering the monarchy's long-term future. Cultural commentators and historians also weighed in, framing the event within the broader context of royal history. Divorce among the royals, while not unprecedented, has always carried profound consequences. From the abdication crisis of Edward VIII to the tumultuous breakdown of Charles's first marriage to Princess Diana, such events have often marked turning points for the monarchy. This latest development invited comparisons and raised questions about whether the institution's modern iterations could better weather such storms, or whether they remained mired in outdated expectations. The announcement also shone a spotlight on the interplay between personal choice and public duty. For King Charles, this decision likely represented a deeply personal reckoning, an acknowledgement that even monarchs must prioritize their emotional well-being. Yet, it also underscored the perennial tension between the individual and the institution, a tension that has defined the lives of countless royals over the centuries. The public's reaction to this decision would ultimately serve as a barometer for how society perceives the monarchy's evolution and its ability to balance tradition with the realities of modern life. Beyond the immediate royal circle, the divorce carried implications for broader societal discussions about marriage, duty, and the nature of leadership. In an age where the sanctity of marriage is increasingly viewed through a lens of individual fulfillment rather than obligation, the decision resonated with many who saw it as a reflection of changing cultural values. Yet for others, it represented a departure from the idealized image of the monarchy as a bastion of continuity and moral fortitude. The dichotomy of these perspectives highlighted the complex and often contradictory expectations placed upon the institution and its members. In the days following the announcement, speculation about the practicalities of the divorce dominated discussions. Would Queen Camilla retain her title or adopt a new designation? How would their shared and separate residences be managed? What role, if any, would she continue to play in royal events and public engagements? Each of these questions underscored the logistical challenges of disentangling lives so deeply intertwined, not only personally but institutionally. The decision to divorce also raised important questions about public and private boundaries. For decades, the royal family has walked a precarious line between public engagement and personal privacy. This announcement, by its very nature, blurred that line further. The inevitable media frenzy surrounding the details of the separation risked overshadowing other royal duties and initiatives, creating a delicate balancing act for Charles and his advisors. It also sparked broader conversations about the role of public figures in sharing their personal lives, particularly when those lives are inextricably linked to national identity. For supporters of the monarchy, the announcement was a moment of reckoning. It forced a reassessment of their expectations for the institution and its leaders. Could a modern monarch navigate the complexities of personal relationships without diminishing the gravitas of their role? Or did such revelations weaken the monarchy's foundational image of steadfastness? The answers to these questions would likely shape public attitudes toward the monarchy for years to come. The announcement of King Charles's intention to divorce Queen Camilla reverberated as a moment of transformation for the British monarchy. The initial shock soon gave way to a deep exploration of the intricate layers of this historic decision, not only within the United Kingdom but across the global stage. The ramifications were multifaceted, influencing cultural, political, and personal dimensions of royal life, while inviting an unprecedented level of public scrutiny. As the news spread, questions arose about the structural implications of such a decision on the monarchy's hierarchy. The monarchy is built on the premise of continuity and the enduring symbolism of unity, and this unexpected fracture created a significant departure from that ethos. It was clear from the outset that this event would not merely be a personal matter for the king and queen consort, but a public spectacle with ripple effects across the institutional framework of the crown. The very fabric of what the monarchy represents, a seamless, unbroken lineage of tradition and moral authority, was now under the microscope. The timing of the announcement also carried a weight of its own. King Charles's reign, though relatively young, had already faced the formidable challenge of following Queen Elizabeth II, whose long and stable rule earned her near-universal respect. Charles had positioned himself as a modernizing figure, intent on balancing centuries of tradition with the need for relevance in an era of rapid societal change. Yet, the decision to divorce risked undermining this carefully cultivated image. The timing brought into question whether this move would be seen as an assertion of his individuality or a destabilizing act that could erode the carefully maintained equilibrium of the monarchy. The public's response to the announcement began to reflect the profound emotional investment people have in the monarchy. For many, the divorce felt like a betrayal, not just of the vows Charles and Camilla exchanged, but of the values they were expected to uphold as representatives of an enduring institution. Conversely, others interpreted the decision as an act of courage, a humanizing acknowledgement of imperfection in an institution often accused of being aloof and out of touch. This dichotomy underscored a broader generational divide, with younger audiences more inclined to view the monarchy through a critical, yet empathetic lens. As public debates intensified, royal commentators and analysts delved into the historical context of marital upheavals within the royal family. Though the monarchy had endured divorces before, none had occurred while the monarch was reigning. This fact alone made Charles's decision unparalleled in its significance. The comparisons with past royals who faced similar crises, Edward VIII's abdication for Wallis Simpson, Princess Margaret's ill-fated romance, and even Charles's first marriage to Princess Diana, became inevitable. Yet this divorce stood apart as it involved the reigning sovereign himself, raising questions about how the crown's role and responsibilities might evolve in the face of such personal challenges. The political implications were equally pressing. As the symbolic head of the nation, the king's actions have always carried weight beyond personal choice. While the monarchy is no longer directly involved in the governance of the United Kingdom, its influence in shaping public sentiment and serving as a unifying figure remains profound. The divorce risked creating a fissure in the public's perception of the monarchy as a stabilizing force. Politicians, too, found themselves navigating treacherous waters, with some expressing concern about the potential impact on national identity, while others viewed it as an opportunity to advance discussions about constitutional reform and the monarchy's place in a modern democracy. The Commonwealth nations, many of which still hold the British monarch as their symbolic head of state, faced their own dilemmas. The announcement came at a time when several member states were already questioning their continued allegiance to the monarchy. Countries such as Barbados had recently transitioned to republics, and the divorce added momentum to similar conversations in other Commonwealth nations. The personal struggles of the king cast a spotlight on the fragility of these relationships, with critics questioning whether the monarchy could retain its global influence in the face of such turmoil. Within the United Kingdom, the royal family itself appeared to retreat into a period of introspection. The announcement raised speculation about how the inner dynamics of the family would adapt to this significant shift. Charles's sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, each played pivotal roles in the public's perception of the royal family. William, as the direct heir to the throne, was under immense pressure to project stability and assurance, a task complicated by his father's very public personal decision. Harry, whose own departure from royal duties had already caused a schism, now found himself in a curious position, both an outsider and a figure who could uniquely empathize with the personal toll of royal life. The intricate dynamics between Charles and Camilla also became a focal point for public speculation. Their relationship, which had weathered decades of scrutiny and scandal, had long been a symbol of their resilience against public criticism. Yet, the announcement challenged the narrative that their union was unshakable. People questioned whether this decision reflected deeper, unresolved tensions or whether the pressures of their unique roles as king and queen consort had finally taken their toll. The relationship's unraveling revealed the complexities of sustaining a partnership under the glaring spotlight of the world's expectations. The logistical implications of the divorce further complicated the situation. As queen consort, Camilla's role had been clearly defined within royal protocol, encompassing ceremonial duties, public engagements, and charity work. However, a post-divorce reality introduced ambiguity. Would she retain her title? Or would she revert to a lesser status within the royal family? These questions were not mere formalities, but carried significant implications for how the monarchy's structure would adapt to unprecedented circumstances. Camilla's public image, already the subject of intense scrutiny throughout her life, faced another turning point. Over the years, she had worked diligently to carve out a role as a compassionate and effective royal figure, championing causes close to her heart. The divorce, however, risked erasing years of effort, with detractors seizing the opportunity to revisit old criticisms. Supporters, on the other hand, emphasized her enduring grace and suggested that this chapter could allow her to redefine her role, perhaps even outside the constraints of royal duty. The financial implications of the separation also became a point of speculation. Royal finances, a perennial topic of public interest and occasional controversy, now took center stage as people wondered how the divorce would be managed within the royal family's complex financial structure. Would Camilla receive a settlement? And if so, what would that entail? How would the separation impact the broader perception of royal spending at a time when the public was already critical of the monarchy's expenditures? The announcement also sparked renewed conversations about the role of the media in the lives of the royal family. For decades, the relationship between the monarchy and the press has been fraught, oscillating between collaboration and antagonism. This divorce provided another chapter in that saga, with media outlets competing to uncover every detail, no matter how private or sensitive. The relentless coverage further blurred the boundaries between public interest and personal intrusion, igniting debates about the ethics of reporting on such intimate matters. In a broader cultural context, the divorce served as a mirror reflecting societal attitudes toward marriage, leadership, and tradition. Modern audiences, particularly younger generations, approached the event with a mixture of skepticism and curiosity. For some, the decision symbolized progress, a sign that even the monarchy, steeped in centuries of convention, could evolve to embrace the complexities of human relationships. For others, it underscored the fragile nature of institutions once thought invincible, inviting critical reflection on their relevance in a rapidly changing world. As the monarchy grappled with the immediate fallout, the announcement also hinted at the possibility of long-term transformations. The British monarchy has endured centuries of upheaval, adapting to shifting political landscapes, changing societal norms, and personal scandals. This divorce, while unprecedented, could serve as a catalyst for further modernization, prompting the institution to reimagine its role in the 21st century. Whether this moment would ultimately strengthen or weaken the monarchy remained an open question, but it was clear that it marked a turning point in its ongoing evolution. At its core, the decision to divorce reflected the enduring tension between personal agency and public duty, a tension that has defined the lives of monarchs for centuries. For King Charles, the choice to separate from Camilla likely represented an intensely personal journey, an acknowledgement of the limits of his capacity to balance private fulfillment with public expectations. Yet for the world watching, it was also a reminder that even those born into privilege and power are not immune to the complexities of human relationships. The revelation of King Charles's decision to divorce Queen Camilla continued to unfold, deepening the complexity of its implications and sparking multifaceted conversations across the globe. The ramifications, layered and far-reaching, exposed the inherent tensions between tradition, personal agency, and public expectation. As more details emerged, the significance of this decision extended beyond the immediate shock, touching on questions of identity, governance, societal norms, and the evolving dynamics of the British monarchy. A key aspect that emerged in the discourse was the unprecedented nature of a reigning monarch going through a divorce. Historically, the British monarchy has been revered for its ability to maintain an image of unassailable unity, and continuity. This image, however, has increasingly come into conflict with the realities of modern relationships and the pressures of public life. While previous royal divorces, most notably those of Princess Diana and Sarah Ferguson, played out under the scrutiny of the press, they involved royals who were not the reigning sovereign. Charles's divorce from Camilla shattered a long-standing taboo, forcing the monarchy to confront the reality that even its highest figures are not immune to the strains of marriage. This reality sparked intense debates about the relevance of the monarchy in contemporary society. For centuries, the institution has been steeped in the mystique of tradition, projecting an idealized image of stability that often clashes with the human imperfections of its members. The divorce brought this dichotomy to the forefront, challenging the perception that the monarchy could remain a bastion of continuity while simultaneously adapting to the complexities of the modern world. As the narrative evolved, it became clear that the institution would need to navigate a delicate balance between preserving its traditions and embracing the transparency that today's audiences demand. One of the most significant challenges the monarchy faced was how to frame this event within the context of its public role. Traditionally, the royal family has maintained a degree of detachment from the emotional realities faced by ordinary families, a detachment that forms part of its mystique. However, this separation has also been a source of criticism, with many viewing the monarchy as an outdated institution disconnected from the realities of modern life. The divorce served as both a disruption of that detachment and an opportunity to reshape it, offering a chance for the monarchy to reframe itself as a more relatable and human institution. This potential for relatability, however, came with risks. The public's response to the announcement revealed a stark divide in attitudes toward the monarchy's ability to modernize. While some viewed the divorce as an opportunity for the institution to show vulnerability and adapt to changing cultural norms, others saw it as a weakening of the monarchy's symbolic authority. This divide mirrored broader societal trends, reflecting a world grappling with the tension between preserving tradition and embracing change. Beyond the immediate impact on the monarchy, the divorce also raised important questions about the evolving role of marriage and leadership. Historically, royal marriages have been seen as partnerships rooted not only in personal connection, but also in duty and public service. The dissolution of Charles and Camilla's marriage invited scrutiny of this notion, prompting discussions about whether it is fair or realistic to expect royal unions to bear the weight of both personal fulfillment and institutional representation. These discussions extended beyond the monarchy, resonating with broader societal conversations about the nature of marriage and the evolving expectations placed on partnerships in the modern age. The role of gender in the public's reaction to the divorce also became a topic of significant analysis. Historically, women in the royal family, particularly those who have divorced, have faced harsher scrutiny than their male counterparts. Camilla's position as queen consort added another layer of complexity, as her divorce from the king placed her in an entirely unprecedented position. Critics speculated on whether she would be unfairly cast as the instigator of the separation, or as a figure whose departure reflected poorly on her ability to fulfill her royal duties. These narratives underscored the persistent double standards that women in public life continue to face, even within institutions as steeped in tradition as the monarchy. For King Charles, the personal toll of the decision was unmistakable. As a monarch, his every action carries symbolic weight, and the divorce represented a deeply personal choice that inevitably became a matter of public debate. This dynamic highlighted the unique pressures faced by royals, who must navigate the intersection of their individual desires and their responsibilities as public figures. For Charles, the decision to divorce likely represented a moment of reckoning, forcing him to confront the limits of his ability to reconcile personal happiness with public duty. The announcement also prompted a closer examination of the internal dynamics of the royal family. While much of the public focus remained on Charles and Camilla, the decision inevitably affected other members of the family, particularly Prince William and Prince Harry. As the heirs to the throne, their roles as stabilizing figures became even more critical in the wake of the divorce. For William, the event placed additional pressure on his ability to project an image of unity and stability, reinforcing his position as the future of the monarchy. Harry, whose own departure from royal life had already created divisions within the family, found himself in a complex position, potentially serving as both a source of support and a reminder of the monarchy's challenges in adapting to modern realities. The generational implications of the divorce also became a focal point for public discussion. For younger audiences, the event was viewed through the lens of evolving attitudes toward marriage, duty, and individuality. Many saw the divorce as a reflection of the changing cultural landscape, where personal fulfillment increasingly takes precedence over societal expectations. This perspective contrasted with older generations for whom the monarchy's role as a symbol of continuity and tradition remains paramount. This generational divide revealed the broader tensions facing the monarchy as it seeks to remain relevant in a rapidly changing world. The financial implications of the divorce added another layer of complexity to the unfolding narrative. As public figures funded in part by taxpayer money, the royals are subject to intense scrutiny regarding their financial arrangements. The separation raised questions about how assets and responsibilities would be divided, particularly given the unique nature of the monarchy's wealth, which includes both personal assets and properties held in trust for the nation. The financial arrangements of the divorce became a flashpoint for critics who questioned the use of public funds to support the royal family, further intensifying debates about the institution's place in contemporary society. The media's role in shaping the narrative of the divorce also came under scrutiny. For decades, the relationship between the monarchy and the press has been fraught with tension, characterized by a delicate dance of mutual dependence and antagonism. The divorce reignited these tensions, with media outlets vying to uncover every detail of the separation, while facing accusations of sensationalism and intrusion. This dynamic underscored the broader challenges of maintaining privacy in an era of relentless media coverage, particularly for public figures whose lives are considered matters of national interest. Internationally, the divorce carried significant ramifications for the monarchy's role on the global stage. As the symbolic head of the Commonwealth, King Charles represents a diverse array of nations, each with its own cultural and political dynamics. The announcement raised questions about how this personal decision would be perceived by Commonwealth members, particularly those already questioning their ties to the British monarchy. For some, the divorce was seen as a further indication of the monarchy's declining relevance in a post-colonial world, while for others, it was viewed as an opportunity to reassess the institution's role in fostering unity and collaboration among member states. The ripple effects of the divorce extended into the cultural realm, inspiring artists, writers, and filmmakers to explore its implications through various creative lenses. The event became a source of fascination for storytellers, who sought to unpack its emotional and symbolic significance. This creative exploration mirrored a broader cultural trend of examining the human side of royalty, challenging the traditional image of monarchs as distant and untouchable figures. By humanizing Charles and Camilla, these narratives offered audiences a more nuanced understanding of the complexities faced by those who inhabit the gilded world of royalty. As the weeks and months passed, the divorce's implications continued to unfold, revealing the profound interconnectedness of personal choices and public expectations within the monarchy. It became increasingly clear that this event was not merely a momentary disruption, but a catalyst for deeper conversations about the institution's identity and future. Whether viewed as a humanizing moment of vulnerability or a destabilizing break from tradition, the divorce of King Charles and Queen Camilla will undoubtedly shape the trajectory of the British monarchy for generations to come. The divorce of King Charles and Queen Camilla marks a transformative moment in the monarchy's legacy, challenging its carefully constructed facade of permanence. It forces the royal family to grapple with reconciling age-old traditions with modern expectations of authenticity and relatability. Beyond its immediate impact, the event serves as a cultural touchstone, encapsulating the shifting societal values surrounding leadership, duty, and individuality. As the monarchy navigates this uncharted territory, its response will shape public perceptions for years to come, determining whether this pivotal moment becomes a symbol of evolution or a reflection of the growing chasm between tradition and contemporary relevance. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on King Charles announcing his divorce from Queen Camilla? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.